One of the advantages of these troubling times that we find ourselves in is that it is an opportunity for the Lord to strengthen our faith. James chapter 1, verses 2 to 4 says that we are to count all the adversities and all the trials and all the difficulties as a blessing, knowing that it strengthens our faith. It brings us to spiritual maturity. And so our prayer in the midst of these very dark and troubling times, our prayer needs to be that God would work in our hearts to increase our trust in him. In Mark chapter 9, we have this account. It says in verses 14 to 27, "And when they came to the disciples, they saw a great crowd around them, and scribes arguing with them. And immediately all the crowd, when they saw him, were greatly amazed. And they ran up to him and greeted him. And he asked them, 'What are you arguing about with them?' And someone from the crowd answered him, 'Teacher, I brought my son to you, for he has a spirit that makes him mute. And whenever it seizes him, it throws him down, and he foams, and he grinds his teeth, and he becomes rigid. So I asked your disciples to cast it out, but they were not able.'" Well, that is the wrong scripture verse for the morning. I'm going to read to you. This is the one I'm looking for. He answered them, "O faithless generation, how long am I to be with you? How long am I to bear with you? Bring him to me." And they brought the boy to him. And when the spirit saw him, immediately it convulsed the boy, and he fell on the ground, and he rolled about, foaming at the mouth. And Jesus asked his father, "How long has this been happening to him?" And he said, "From childhood. And it has often cast him into the fire and into the water to destroy him. But if you can do anything, have compassion on us and help us." And Jesus answered to him, "If you can, all things are possible for the one who believes." Immediately the father of the child cried out and said, "I believe, help my unbelief." And when Jesus saw that a crowd came running together, he rebuked the unclean spirit, saying to it, "You mute and deaf spirit, I command you, come out of him and never enter him again." And after crying out and convulsing him terribly, it came out, and the boy was like a corpse, so that most of them said, "He is dead." But Jesus took him by the hand and lifted him up, and he arose. First Baptist Church, our prayer needs to be during these times that as God is still working in the world, that we know that God is working ultimately all things together for our good, and our prayer needs to be that he would strengthen our faith. Would you pray this song with us? Lord, help thou mine unbelief.